If you see more helicopters flying above Brooklyn Park and Maple Grove, there's a good reason. It's part of an important research project happening out at the Elm Creek Park Reserve. That research kicked off Thursday morning. It involves the University of Minnesota, the Three Rivers Park District, and dozens of deer. As Delane Cleveland reports, it will provide scientists and wildlife experts valuable information.
More than 4,900 acres of wilderness make up Elm Creek Park Reserve. In that area are scores of white-tailed deer.
We know where they are in January when we fly an aerial deer survey. We can see the deer. We can tell where they are, but that's where they are in the winter. In the summer, they move into the neighborhoods.
We're going to get a rough guesstimate of what their chase time was.
But researchers like John Moriarty from the Three Rivers Park District would like to know more about how the deer move and where they go in the summer.
We think that our deer move as far as the Mississippi River.
To answer those questions,
give us the 3 last digits of that frequency.
They've partnered with the University of Minnesota, the U.S. Department of Agriculture, and some expert helicopter pilots.
That's all they do is catch animals.
Over the course of 2 days, crews in the helicopter hope to catch 40 deer with a net. After they're caught, they'll use a sling to fly the deer to a central location where a team will strap a radio collar onto their necks, which will then track their movements. At the same time, researchers from the U of M will take blood and other DNA samples to test for SARS-CoV-2, the virus that causes COVID-19.
Right now we know that white-tailed deer can get infected with the virus SARS-CoV-2, and they're also good at transmitting it amongst themselves. We don't understand how this is happening.
Similar studies are being conducted across the United States to help experts get a sense of the effect the virus has on deer populations.
This study will help us determine if there's any issues with sickness or death, because we will be able to individually follow these collared deer through the next 2 years.
Capturing the deer is one thing. Getting them to cooperate is another matter altogether. But the entire process only takes about 15 minutes before they release the deer back into the wild. It's a labor-intensive activity that will provide researchers with years of important data.
I think there's going to be good public interest here, like even at the Nature Center, about like, where's deer number 5 today? Oh, they're over in this area, or better understand their movements.
In Dayton, Delane Cleveland, CCX News.
Brooklyn Park police are investigating an incident in which a young child was run over by a school bus, with the bus driver then leaving the scene. Police were called shortly after 3 p.m. Wednesday to a parking lot of Edinburgh USA Golf Course. Police found a 6-year-old child with leg injuries. They later located the bus and the driver. The Brooklyn Park Police and the Minnesota State Patrol are investigating what happened and whether charges should be warranted. Police say the child was coming from a charter school in Columbia Heights. The child is being treated at a local hospital for a broken leg and possible internal injuries. This year's winter has been so challenging, it's now wiped out a local winter festival. Officials have canceled the Plymouth Fire and Ice Festival due to poor ice conditions. The festival was scheduled to take place February 4th on Parker's Lake, but officials determined that even with cold weather in the forecast, there wouldn't be enough time for conditions to improve. This winter's historic snowfall is to blame for the poor ice quality. Also closing, COVID-19 community testing sites. A year ago, the lines were long at the testing center here in Brooklyn Park, where you could be tested for free. The state is currently still operating 4 of these sites, but officials announced this week that they will all be closing. The last day the Brooklyn Park Starlight Center location will be operating is Sunday, January 29th. Robbinsdale residents will pick a new city council representative for Ward 1 in an upcoming special election on February 14th. This council member will complete the remainder of the term for Tyler Klein, the city council member who resigned in September following an incident of driving intoxicated and going the wrong way down Highway 100, damaging a police squad car. The candidates running to represent Ward 1 are Raymond Blackledge and Regan Murphy. Blackledge has lived in Robbinsdale for 9 years, while Murphy grew up in the city and is the former mayor. During a public forum on Wednesday, candidates answered questions from residents, including how the city budget might be reallocated.
It really comes down to resident involvement. We have a number of public hearings when it comes to the budget, And while there might be no significant shifts, there's certainly going to be small shifts to move money to where residents think it would be best spent.
That is an astronomical amount to pay for safety, right? I think there is something to be said about that. And knowing that we've had short number as far as police officers in our community as well, but also understand the response times that have taken place within our community, I think is really important as well to recognize.
Other issues discussed included light rail, rising water bills, and building a new community center. Early voting for the Ward 1 seat is currently underway, and residents can also vote on Election Day at City Hall. Art enthusiasts have a good reason to visit the Hopkins Center for the Arts this month. On display now is the 28th Annual Arts North International Juried Exhibit. The display features more than 150 pieces of art created by artists from all across the globe. The artists hail from 30 Minnesota communities, but also from around the U.S. and countries as far away as Japan.
It's a terrific snapshot of art being done both in our local community, but also in a broader sense. So it gives local viewers an opportunity to see things from a little bit outside of our local aesthetic bubble.
The display is so large that the center is using its entire building for the exhibit. Gallery visitors still have time to swing by and vote for the People's Choice Award. The exhibit runs through February 25th. We will leave you today with more images from the show.